So what do you need to talk about after the stream? I can't hear you. I can now. What do you need to talk about after the stream? What did she do? Fix that. I'll sit here quietly and look at the board. Who did that? Oh, I thought she already did that. Hey, Agile Monk!
What's that you've been reading?
The Andanuth. I found it in that house yesterday.
Good?
Like nothing I ever read.
It's a road. There's a girl on it.
A girl? What's she doing?
Just standing there, talking to herself.
She's a guard.
I don't think so. Just a kid wearing a dress.
It's a trap. She's bait.
Yeah. Yeah, you're probably right.
Maybe. Maybe not. We gotta check it out.
Sam, what are you doing? Sam. Go with him.
Are you the mailman?
Some maps are drawn but never followed. Some adventures dreamed of but never experienced. To the Mad Mage, this was the greatest sin of all. He asked each of us, if you really want to be great, how far will you go? For over 15 years, we had no answer for him. Until today. Our journey to Castle Zagyg starts now. The fortified town of Yggsburgh hums with life. Traders, rogues, and scholars all gather together on the edge of the unknown. Depending on your neighborhood, the cobbled streets may be lined with strangers of an unscrupulous sort, but make no mistake, the people here hold the key to untold wealth and knowledge. Beyond the town's wall,
Trollord Games. Join the fray.
And we are live. It is March 11th. I can't remember the year. It's 2025. It's March 11th, 2025. And today is a momentous day because we launched Castle Zagyg, Gary Gygax's Castle Zagyg on the Backerkit crowdfunding platform. And it is doing smashingly well. Very, very well. We're very excited. We've got, where are we at? I haven't looked in a little bit. We got 847 backers. We got 187,000 pledged. And that is fantastic. And if you get in on the first 48 hours, not only do you get Boon Cards, but you get your name entered in a raffle to win. Is it 1 of 5 or 1 of 10? It's 1 of 5, right, Chuck?
Yeah. 1 of
1
5.
of 5 Eastmark folios signed by Gary Gygax. These were signed by Gary back in 2005 or 6. I can't remember when we released that one off the top of my head. He signed like 100. I think he signed like 300. I want to say that's what he signed, and we gave away and sold and whatever, most of them, but there's a little less than 100 left. I think there's like 90 or 80 or something like that. I haven't counted them. It's 2 boxes, and it's usually 40 to 50 a box. So those are going to go up for raffle. and you will see those. Your name will enter in if you get in on the first 48 hours. But I am Stephen Chenault. This is CEO of Total Games, and this is the Ask Me Anything Hour on Tuesday, March 11th. So if you have any questions about this, the other Kickstarters, this Backerkit campaign, Castle Zagyg, lots of information on Castle Zagyg, Troller Games, whatever, throw them out here in the feed. This is the forum to shake the answers out of the apple tree. And welcome you all for joining us today. Thank you all for joining us. And everyone who has already backed this Kickstarter, thank you very much. Spam Viking, my wallet hates me this day. I know that day, a few months ago, I got it in my head. I had to have a bunch of these real world sorcery books, and I just started buying them like crazy, and I spent way too much money on these ancient books from the Middle Ages and the 1700s, 1800s that's supposed to be actual spells and whatnot. I was getting these books for my research on Codex Infernum, and it helped immensely. But my wallet was grievously wounded for many months after that.
Well, you've been buying so much stuff lately. I got curious and thought I may buy a few. Yes, they're expensive.
They're not.
I was like, whatever.
Some of them are because they're hard to get a hold of. And I see that TLG Tim
Oh my God.
has joined the chat.
What
First
is-
time in a very long time.
Look at that guy.
Tim is the man. I have known Tim for many, many decades.
Tim!
He currently has, for all of you out there in the stream, 8 purebred husky puppies. They are ridiculously cute. Just cute little puppies that he will be giving away or selling. I'm not sure what he's going to do with them in the next 2 weeks. Tim, is that right? 2 weeks from now, I think they'll be ready. Or 4? I can't remember.
Oh,
And Quelled Roma. Did I do that right? Let's purchase me a drink of Dr. Pepper. Thank you very much. Much needed. Yes, indeed. Yes, he'll be giving them away 2 to 3 weeks. And they are ridiculously cute.
I do have a couple questions already if you want to grab those.
Vampires do regenerate. Grew by. Go ahead.
Well,
There's the first question.
that's the first question for you now. Go ahead and answer. You didn't read it.
Yeah, well, they definitely regenerate, yes. I didn't know their spawn did, but I guess their spawn may as well.
Yeah, I think the spawn has regeneration as well. Don't know about that one. That's a good one. Look that one up now. That's a good one.
I always thought vampires in CNC were a little bit underpowered.
They should be equal to dragons. I love our dragons. Our dragons are the best dragons. I love them.
I gotta tell you,
They will bring pain.
this new version of the Monsters and Treasures with the
Yeah.
tags on the
That's awesome.
it's just fantastic.
I love the book so much.
But look, they do not have.
I don't think the spawn do. The spawn are just people who are like, I don't know. Shit, I don't know.
No, the vampire does not regenerate.
Yeah, it does. Oh. What?
It does not have the power to regenerate. Interesting. I always thought that it did. I should probably read these things before I run these monsters.
Yeah, I mean, I'd give them regeneration. Huh. You know what?
Unless it's buried in the vampire. Nope, that's not it.
How about under? We've been undead trade either.
Yeah, interesting. Very, very interesting. Blood drain, does that give them hit points back?
Oh, that might be.
No, that's crazy. That's crazy.
I'm getting out some books here. We'll look some
That's
shit
funny.
up.
No, so Grubai, I don't think that it does. I think that you are right. Vampire spawn. Where are the vampires spawn? Create spawn. Drain regeneration 1. The spawn have a regeneration of 1.
Oh shit! But the vampires don't.
Does not. That is awesome.
That
is awesome.
something wrong there.
There you go. I wonder if that got cut out or if it's always been there.
Well, we're going to find out. I pulled this one off the shelf to look at and see. I'm doing
got
some research.
Third printing, I think, in your hands.
Yeah.
I'm joking. It may never have been in there. The way the original monsters were written for Monsters and Treasures, Robert Doyle, who worked, he wrote this material and he kind of took it from the SRD, ported it over, and then I went through and added all of the kind of descriptive text, how they live, this blah 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 blah. So if the vampire didn't have regeneration in 3rd edition, it wouldn't have had it in M&T.
Oh, dude, it's got level drain 2 levels in there.
I think we kept that.
Yeah, good.
It's still drained 2 levels.
Yeah, I don't see anything about regeneration though in this printing here either.
Yeah. So I'm curious, for those of you guys out there who play 3rd edition, I don't have any of those books on my shelves. Did 3rd edition allow regeneration for the vampire? There's our question. There is the question. And I think blood drain gets 1 hit point back for 1 hit point. Oh, does it? So blood drain does?
Oh, maybe that's why then. Where's Kothar when you need him?
He is right. Willie is correct. So they do get regeneration. It's just not called regeneration. For each point drained from a victim, a vampire will heal 1 hit point. So technically, it doesn't regenerate. It has to attack you, drain the blood to get its strength back. So it doesn't have the regeneration ability. It does have the... So I'm guessing create spawn actually can't drain your blood. So that's the balance there. Right. That I knew there was something, but yes, there you go. I'm guessing you would find that in 3rd edition as well. Vampires suck, literally.
So,
yes, there you go.
Fun fact from the Monster Manual from AD&D.
Yeah.
Let's see. Vampires regenerate damage at 3 hit points per melee round.
There you go.
If it's brought to 0, they are forced into gaseous form, and so on and so forth.
So this is what you're going to see. First off, I want to comment on Phantom New Jersey says, Phantom Jay says, I'm using Constitution Drain instead of level drain. That's rough. Constitution Drain could be rough. That's cool, though. That's what those attributes are there for. That's a great idea. And that derailed whatever weird thought I had.
I do have another question for you when you get caught up.
What did you say? Something about, I don't know.
It regenerates 3 hit points, and then it's forced to gaseous form at 0.
Oh. Yeah, so so I've always kind of thought that vampires in Z&C were a little bit weak, underpowered, as I mentioned earlier. That's going to be rectified with the Amazing Adventures Monstrous book, because that book is going to have Dracula in it, I believe, and Dracula will be. If it's not, I will encourage Jason to make him much more powerful than the standard vampire, as he should be. And that will become kind of the model for, like in Air, the Dracula-esque character would be Sagramore. So that will be the kind of the model for that. So we will definitely get the version of a more powerful vampire.
All right,
so they can get it.
Chris,
it's worse than that, Groovy. It's more, their blood drain is more powerful than regeneration 3, because if you blood drain and you do 12, that's 12 immediately that you get back, as opposed to 3 hit points back. That blood drain is very powerful. Go ahead, Chuck. What's the next question?
Let's see. Chris asks, just to be sure, Volume 1 is Yggsburgh with some extras.
So no, it's actually going to have a little bit less, as it turns out. So we did some. What's the shell game where you move stuff around and what's under the shell? I had a talk with Jeffrey Talanian last night to kind of zero in on the way things are. So we're going to pull the chunks of the East marker were in Yggsburgh, and we were going to put the rest of the East Mark folio in there. We're not going to do that now. That's been up until last night. That was the way we were going to do it. But we're going to move the East Mark folio material to ruins and the environs of the castle, primarily for 2 reasons. The environs are a little bit smaller. The castle and environs are a little bit smaller than books 3 and book 1. So this will help reduce 1 and increase 2. But also, to be horribly blunt, behind the curtain type of things, it's an accounting issue. We've got contracts in place for Jeffrey's material, and this will help me pay Jeffrey his royalties much easier than carving out percentages of each of the book that he wrote. Blah blah blah. Neither he nor I want to do that. so this will just make that a little bit easier. That's the other thing that we moved. We moved level 1 from book 3 and into book 2. That way, all of Jeff's material is in book 2.
Oh, that makes it way better. Yeah.
Make it infinitely easier for him, for me, and I think, unless I'm sorely mistaken, uh, all of book 2 is written by Jeffrey Talanian. All of book 1 is written by Gary Gygax, and all of book 3 will be written by Michael Stewart. Absolutely no material, GD, nothing is nothing.
That's
nothing
Chris. I call him Chris.
Chris,
That's the
nothing will be
fella.
lost.
That's the fella that brings me candy and pre-gens to cons. He is 100% an awesome human.
There you go. Excellent.
Let's see. Will Martinez from YouTube asks, Martinez, pardon that slip. Don't know if this was answered or not, but will the character manager be updated to all classes and races and have multi-classing built into it?
Yes, great news all across the board on the character manager. We have got the Apple Store. I want to thank Monica for 400 millionth time to helping me get that set up. The Apple Store set up, the Samsung Store or Google. The Google Store set up. Everything's good to go. You should be able to get that character manager on Google now. Now he's got the Apple version. Scott's got the Apple version ready to go, but he's moving apartments at the moment or houses or whatever he's doing. And then he's got to go to GaryCon. So as soon as he gets back from GaryCon, he'll start running tests on getting it up on Apple. Once it is on Apple, that campaign is fulfilled. We can give everybody their codes to get it to download the app on their iPhones, and we're done. And that means Scott can get on to the next step. We talked about that at Page back in January. And the next step is to update the spells to the Reforged language, which won't be very hard, and then to get the multi-classing in there. He's very anxious to get this and expand the character manager out. It's something that when Chuck pitched this idea that we always wanted to do, but it's just been the long road because we don't have a staff here that's working on that side of things. It's just a long road, but hopefully in the next 4 weeks or so we'll start seeing some major updates to the Apple. A couple weeks after GaryCon, to the character manager.
Okay, good deal. Good deal.
Yeah, Alan, it's going to be nice to finally get that done.
Let's see. One asks, are all of your books free of 5e now or just the main ones?
The only 5e thing we have left is Undying War. I think there might be a gag. No, we got 3 books. There's Amazing Adventures, 5th edition, and Lost City of Gaxmore, and the Undying War. The Lost City of Gaxmore, I think there's just 2 boxes left. There's like 18 copies of that thing left, or 20 or something. The Amazing Adventures, a couple hundred left of that, and then the Undying War, because we printed deep, we printed that before we knew what was coming from.
Yeah, we didn't know that
from the coast, so we've got that one pretty deep. Not sure what to do with that at the moment, but we got a lot of those piled around.
We've talked about it a lot. Let's see. Jeremy Smith from YouTube asks, can you shed some light, please, on how much material Gary left behind to be used for the previously unreleased material, like level 2 and on?
It's a lot. So it's more in maps than it is notes, but just for instance, on level 3, which I went through laboriously like 3 weeks ago, it's 4 or 7. I think it's 7 maps. Each map 8.5 by 11, and then 7 or 8 pages. Some of the pages are duplicated that I had, so I think it was 7 pages. There's more pages. There's more maps than pages, so 6 or 7 pages of just notes, and it's it's your college rule notebook, and it's just written all the way down, and it's just his notes all the way down. So it's quite a bit, and what we know. So that's what he did originally back in the 1970s, and then when we were working on this project in the early aughts in 2003 or 2004 through 8. He gave me copious amount of notes as what he wanted to do. So I've got what's called, in my file folder here, I've got what's called the Bible, the Bible, and the CZ Bible, and I've got 4 versions of it. They're slightly different, one from the other. So I have to go in and make sure that I'm, nothing is lost when we're going through this stuff. But for instance, it gives me a brief paragraph long, 2-3 sentences long in each paragraph, description of each of the 27 levels. So we know what thematically he wanted to do for each level. We know what map-wise he wanted to do for each level because we have those maps. And then we have his notes about the weird stuff that he did back in the day. And I've talked to Mike quite a bit about it. And the idea is we're going to write this like it was an adventure, like T1. Think of that. Fully complete, described, the whole thing. but we're going to integrate all of his notes in there, as many as we can. Some of them won't; they just won't work, and he didn't want them to, because he designed, when he went back through, he gave each level kind of this, and I don't want to stress this too much because the levels kind of merge, but kind of a thematic element. For instance, level 2 might be level 3. I'm getting these things all jumbled in my head. Well, there was a lot of gnolls on there. So the gnolls had escaped the menagerie and kind of conquered a small section of it. So you've got this gnoll thing that kind of rolls through. And then we're going to interject his weird traps and his weird magic items. And I have been through a little bit of it, and it's some weird stuff, which is fantastic because that's the whole concept behind this. Is he's the Mad Mage. He's not Sauron. He's not Saruman. He's not Gandalf. He's not Dumbledore, whatever. He's the Mad Mage. He's a magic user. He's an Archmage who's ridiculously powerful, steeped in magic. Backerkit's main servant, for those of you coming over from Greyhawk. He's gone insane, and he's using his magic to entertain himself, and you happen to be the individual, the source of that entertainment. So he's Davis. There you go, Sparky. Yes, he's Davis. I tried to get Davis on the stream this afternoon, but all of his computer cables are cut. I don't know what's going on. It's just, I have no idea what's going on up there. Know what it is.
I'm losing faith. I don't even know if we can do much more about it. I don't know, man.
Well, he's writing more, which is great. Which
That's
he needs
good.
to be doing. But
Right.
what it actually is, he has badmouthed gnomes for so many years. The gnome council has sent a death squad up there, and they're so small they can't hurt him, but they're cutting his cables constantly.
Right. Yeah.
He can't get anything done.
Goki the Goblin King asks, will we get an updated NPC book with bandits and other classes for the reforged version of Castle Zagyg? I would love to buy one.
An updated NPC almanac, is that? Update our 2 NPC books to the Reforged. Is that what?
Yeah, I think that's what he's asking about. And that's what needs to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. What we're going to do for each of these titles, because we really don't.
I've forgotten about that, Steve.
There's very few titles that we let go out of print because most of the stuff that we've put out, we're very happy with and we'll put back out. Some of it's being completely rewritten. Take, for instance, Codex Germania and Codex Nordica. Those have sold out, and Finn Clayton is rewriting those entirely. He's mostly done with one. I think it's Germania. I can't remember. And the finished book. But for the NPC Almanac, we've got, I'm not sure. I'd have to look at Dakota did inventory last week. I don't know, probably a year's supply. When we sell out of those, we will reforge them, update them, and roll them back out again for absolutely.
And that shouldn't take long. That's one of our best selling products because they're wonderful.
It is. They're fantastic books. Absolutely fantastic books. How's it going to you, Chris?
All right, next question. This is from Agile Monk. Troller Games question. Chenault and Gray Publishing. I heard something today regarding you might do hardcover books with someone else. I want to be sure that the FCW can get paperback and, if possible, hardback books printed for our products through you. We also need to know what design tools you print from, InDesign, Affinity. We do both. And what are the printing requirements? Could these be sent to me, pretty please? By the way, congrats on the Kickstarter launch today. Oh, well, Backerkit launched today. It was good to see Luke.
Yeah, Luke's always fun. So we do our hard covers through Walsworth Printing. We have for many, many years. We only do soft covers here. Agile, I can give you, I can connect you with Sally over there, and she'll set you up because they've got kind of a template that they use that they give to us. And each hard cover is a little bit different. Depends on the page count and the type of paper you're going to use and the board, and whether you're smite sewing and all of those other factors factor into how wide your spine is going to be. And stuff like that. I think the only thing that's really consistent is the gutter and the board. But as for interior books, covers in Photoshop, and the interiors in InDesign, if you're wanting us to print them, and we certainly can do that, we've got a fully functional print shop. Then we just want the PDF on our end. So whether you lay it out in Infinity or in InDesign, I don't care. I can send you the PSD for our template for the cover. And then on the other end, just lay it out however you want it to look, and you're golden. Golden. Oh, that's funny. Yes, Death Angel. There's 2. There's the the NPC Almanac Register and the NPC Almanac names. I can't remember how many combinations you can do in these books, but it's ludicrous. It's thousands of NPCs that you can deploy at your table. It's very, very cool. The Register, for those who don't know, the NPC Almanac Register is a hardcover book we sell, about 200 pages. I don't know, 220 pages, and it's filled with just lists of like stable hands, guards, bartenders, all kinds of stuff. I think it's 40 per entry, I think. I can't remember now. It might be 50. And then the sketches is actually NPCs that are sketched out, so you get a full paragraph write up and their hit points and armor and all of that stuff. And then there's samples of ones that of a single NPC, like here's Chuck Cumbow and here's Chuck at first level, here's Chuck at third level, here's Chuck at fifth level, and so you can kind of tell the story and use this NPC as your campaign progresses. Also, do not downgrade the sketches. No, the Register also has lists of like 50 assassins, 50 fighters, 50. They're really good books if you're running a game or writing fiction. They're fantastic resources.
Yeah, it's I keep both those books next to my table on my card here. I use those all the time. It's the truth.
It's very good. I'm always NPC heavy, so it helps just to pop it open. And Davis's names are always interesting, so the names aren't the same, which is really cool. Probably the only criticism I'd have on those two books is most of his NPCs have these kind of dark backgrounds. I remember when I was reading through Chuck's, and I was like, dude, can you make like one happy person in here? It just has a happy life. His parents were nice.
Right, whatever, but not just murder and death or running for your life, or wanted.
He read way too much Russian fiction back in the 80s and 90s, which
you know what else he has a flavor for besides that? He has a very Eastern flavor going on. Definitely Eastern Europe and sometimes almost Middle Eastern. I've noticed that in his writings.
So Davis went during the Cold War. He was one of the last Cold Warriors. He went to the Defense Language Institute there in California and studied Czech. So Davis, when he was in the Army, he was in a small listening post listening to the Soviets and the Czechs talk over the radio. So you can see, like if you read his Isaiah stuff, there is such a heavy Slavic influence and especially Czech influence in his writing. It's really cool. And that, Sparky, is what makes those names almost incomprehensible, because unless you're used to the way they arrange their consonants, it can be a challenging. Monterey, California, yes, Agile Monk. He spent 2 years. Is that how long DLI is? I think it's 2 years learning Czech. So it spills out. And he wandered. He spent several months wandering around the Middle East, in Turkey and Syria, Lebanon, Israel. Where else did he go? I can't remember. Jordan, I can't remember. That he stayed to the coast mostly, but he was down there for about 6 weeks just meandering around. And you should all take note that his backpack, I have a picture of it somewhere, his backpack was about yay big. That was it. I mean, it was a tiny little backpack that he lived down there for like 6 weeks or something. It's pretty awesome.
Oh, my word. That's crazy. I had no idea. I really didn't.
Oh, yeah. Davis has stomped in many, many, many places. His favorite is Thailand. He loves Thailand. He loves the Rocky Mountains and Belize. And those are his absolute favorite places to stomp.
And then there's people that come into your chats and just start abusing the trolls, like that guy there, that shady dude called Peter, right?
Is that Peter there?
Yeah. Let's see. Odd One Man asks, to play CNC, Castle Crusades, what books do I absolutely need as a DM and a player to play? Imagine that I don't know anything. I'm just wanting to learn.
Player's Handbook, Monsters and Treasures, that's all you need. That is absolutely all you need. And the dirty secret is, and Chuck and Tim, if you're still with us, used to yell at me all the time when I say this, you really don't need the monster book.
Steve, no.
You can use any monster book from any game, really. It's not that hard to convert stuff. Player's Handbook, Monsters and Treasures, and you're golden. The rest of it's extra.
I do have a question for you about that.
Yes.
And as many times as I've edited and looked and read and used these texts, does it say in there in the PHP about actually making monsters? Does it go into that a little bit at all? That's my curiosity.
In the very back, there's this. I don't think so. I think in the very back, there's like a sample dungeon
There
I
is,
think.
but I don't know if
Yeah,
it
but
actually goes into the monster part of it.
I don't think so.
I
don't
think I
it
pushed
does.
for something like that at one time, and then we decided it was a bad idea, so we didn't do it.
Yeah, probably. Well, the biggest thing about the Player's Handbook and me, if you look at the original first printing, it's 128 pages. Well, it's 300 pages now. Now, it's not because we've added any content, though we have a little bit between the fourth and fifth printing. It's because we've added a ton of art, and the font is no longer, it was 8.5 back then, and I think it's like 11 now or 10, or I don't know what it is. It's bigger than it was back in the day. So, so I missed the thinner Player's Handbook. But the current one is ludicrously beautiful. Peter Bradley laid this thing out. I mean, it's just ridiculously beautiful. Oh,
I went to Asheville, last weekend or weekend before, that little small con over there, and guess what I picked up over there off some guy?
oh, that's awesome. What printings are they?
They're seconds.
Oh, okay. Well,
And
that's close.
Hoyt found first printings for both books, and bought them and
That's
didn't
awesome.
even think about me. And he got them for like $10 a piece. I was like, "Are you shitting me?" I'm still trying to build my library back, man. Someday, I had that flood. So anyway, let's see. I had another question for you here. Well, let's see. Matt Schmosh asks, sorry if this has been asked already, but is there a rough idea when the first three will be out? Also, I have your original Yggsburgh in Volume 1. The same material, or is it something new?
So I'll answer the second part first. That's very easy. It's going to be the same material. The Citadel will be the same material as you find in Yggsburgh. We'll have new art, new cover, new maps. That's the key to it, and a whole new layout. Of course, we've moved into a different kind of era, I think, for layout at TLG. We've moved away from my boring columns that me and Peter Bradley like so very much, just text balls, and into something a little bit more easy on the eye, as Davis says and curses me constantly. But so your second question, that's hopefully that answers your first question and your second question. The timing is the Citadel is written and the runes are written, and Mike is deep into. I think he's on level 3 of, might be 4, but I think it's level 3 of why cannot the Cellars. So we're looking at, hopefully we will have this written all by the end of summer. I've asked Mike to get one done every 3 to 5 weeks, and it just kind of depends on the content that Gary's given us to how long that's going to take. So we get this written done by the summer, and the real challenge is going to be getting all of the art and stuff put together in time. I would like, it's probably not going to happen, but I would like these to come out fourth quarter this year. Like as not, they will come out first quarter next year. The goal is to have these minimally at the printer, but hopefully in the mail before we launch the Backerkit campaign for volumes 4 and 5. Hopefully that answers that question.
All right. Oh, and let's see. The next one if this is from Ogwin Man, is this your home office?
This is, yes. So we, Troller Games, it's been a home business forever, and for a very short period, I have to ask Todd, we rented offices for about 9 months, I think, something like that, and it was a senseless waste of money to me. So we all work from home, other than when my wife and I purchased this house that we're in now. We built on a print shop to it. We made sure it's large enough to kind of help TLG's growing pains. So through that door there, I can never point to where I want to on stream. So that door behind me is the mail room, and it is this long ass 50, 60 foot room, whatever. And out that window there, through another set of doors, is the print shop, and then we have a warehouse with all our gajillions of books stored south. So yes, this is my home office. I will walk out that door right there. Nope. That door. I just can't do that.
You go into that door, you're going to work.
Yeah, I'm going to work that door right there to eat my cheeseburgers for lunch every day. So that's what I do.
Let's see.
We may, I do. I grumble and cuss. Chuck gets the brunt of it, but Tim used to get the brunt of it when he was here. I grumble and cuss that we all really need to be in the same office space. If we were, we could communicate much faster and get points across much faster. I have a habit of speaking in half sentences, and Jeremy and Chuck and Grace all have to kind of figure out what I'm trying to say or what I said, because I've moved on. Once I've said it, I've just moved on. But Dakota is like right there or right out there, so he can just say, "What do you mean?" So it's much easier. An actual traditional office would be very helpful but half of us are in Michigan. We're in Michigan, Pennsylvania, Virginia, Arkansas, England. I mean, Peter Bradley is across the pond. So I don't think an office is in our near future. Warehouse? Yes, it is.
Yeah, but even if we had an office working there, like me, you'd be like, Chuck, you never talk to me. What's going on, man?
I'm sure that's.
It would, because I'd have all my shit taken care of, and I would never have to bother you. It'd be great. No, I don't know.
It's a catch-22. We are going to have to, in the very near future, expand out of this place and get a larger footprint as our print shop continues to grow, as it is doing. And we just need, Dakota specifically needs more space. So we are currently in the market looking for the right opportunity.
Right. Let's see. Question from Sparky. God help me. What does this one say? Oh, God.
Okay.
Is it the second printing with marijuana as a poison? I just checked, Sparky, in my new second printing here, and no, it is not in there. I don't know what. I guess it was either the first or third. I almost want to say it was third, Steve.
I'm not sure which one.
It showed up and then disappeared. I don't know.
That's an Ernie Gygax thing. I remember, if you can get a hold of the soft cover version, the third edition version of The Lost City of Gaxmar, there's all kinds of mushrooms and hallucinogens.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. I know there was the House of Ill Repute.
Luke tried to catch them in the editing process, but I know how I got through. It was really funny.
All right, let's see. We're almost caught up here. Let's see. Odd one man question. Important question. Where can I find your schedule for being on Twitch? Well, Odd man, that's a good question. You should be able to find it here. What you need to do is just basically, if you're looking at the Twitch page, just go to the schedule tab on Twitch, and it'll have it in there. Now, if we do something special, sometimes it won't be in there. You'll have to watch on socials or whatnot, but that's typically where we keep it. Let's see. Declassified. I love that username. Are those of us residing in Canada eligible to support the Backerkit project? I have not used the platform before, only familiar with Kickstarter. Shipping obviously will have their own increased charges. Is there anything I should be aware of in regard to actual pledge amounts?
No, you should be good. And we've got a decent, though small, discount for shipping to Canada. So it'll be, once we get that shipping, and Alan, we need to talk to you tomorrow about that. Once we get that shipping up, we'll get it all kind of worked out. But there shouldn't be any problems. We've been shipping to Canada forever. And I don't ever want our conversations to go political here, but I know that Canada and the United States are doing whatever they're doing, having their whatever has begun, but that should not affect individual packages that ship across the border. That generally tariffs don't hit that. It's really for manufactured goods, and for some large amounts of manufactured goods and raw materials. That's usually what tariffs apply to. And I honestly believe this all this dust will be settled in the next couple of months. So we don't really need to. I don't think we need to worry about it too much. So no, you shouldn't have any surprises. There's not a VAT tax in Canada. I don't think. Now there is in most European countries, but I don't think Canada has that.
There is something, because I've had to make a couple of issue a couple of documents to some people in Canada, but it was like in Belgium, but I forget what it is now. Some kind of thing. Yeah. I forget what it is.
The only country we've ever really run into a problem with the VAT is Denmark. Every other country, like the United Kingdom, waives the VAT on books. There's no charge on books, so we're good there.
Yeah, well,
Denmark is the exception to it.
When I did the shipping tables for GMS last time, we had to make a separate one. They have a separate one for Denmark. Oddly, you would say that.
Denmark is interesting. Belgium is awful, says Commander Pete.
There he is.
We've had to deal a little, if Alan's still with us, we've had to deal a little bit with some new regulations that have been crossed by the European Parliament, which of course the UK is not part of, but Belgium and Denmark are. So it's just all of this stuff. It's just kind of navigating, but generally tariffs shouldn't affect any single packages, and shipping to Canada, there should be no hidden anything. We will be very upright with the cost of the shipping, and it shouldn't be too terrible. The nice thing about shipping to Canada and the United Kingdom and anywhere, it's so related on pound. If you order like a pound of books, it's going to be $60, for instance. I don't know what it is, but let's just say $60. But if you order 4 pounds of books, it's like $65. So if you get something like Yggsburgh, if you get all 3, your shipping's not going to be any more egregious than if you got 1. So it's usually better if you're going to order and I'm not trying to sell more books or whatever, but if you're going to order more, just get your weight up a little bit, and it'll help. You're going to pay a little bit more shipping, but how's it? It's not scaled. Is that what I'm trying to say?
It's not scaled. No, there's definitely advantages for that. And Alan just pointed out, we were talking the other day, where he's right. They just negotiated a new deal with FedEx, so they've got some good pricing coming out for the next.
Yes, we sent a pallet to them to GMS. What Alan, like 2 weeks ago or something, and it was the price was good. Yeah. It's really just navigating this mess, and the nice thing is through Easy Ship, both for Canada and Europe and Asia, we've got. Now, GMS is doing a lot of overseas shipping at this point for crowdfunding campaigns, but we get this spreadsheet of options for us to choose from, and you should be having those. You should have those same spreadsheets too. So, mitigating the cost for shipping these things. It's sad too, because when I started this company when Matt Golden and I and David started this company back in 1999, shipping to Canada, the U.S. Post Office offered a media rate to Canada. So if we ship something, a media rate is books only. If we shipped a book to Chuck in Virginia, it would be like $1.50. And if we shipped it media rate to Canada and it was just a book, it would be like $5.50. It was crazy. So I've watched this ridiculous shipping charge go from a few dollars to Canada to whatever. It's just crazy. It's just.
Well, and and I was going to Touch of Evil. I was going to tell you too, Dr. Touch of Evil. GMS is covering UK, but it's also doing all of EU and some other parts of the world too. Yeah, it's doing
everywhere but Canada.
Yeah, we're doing that with whatever they're called. I can't think of the names.
Well, we do that either through stamps or Easy Ship, and we get generally a discount. It's 12 to 17%. It depends on where and blah, 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 blah. But we get a little bit of discount, and we definitely pass that discount on to you.
The duty. That's what Canada has. The duty. That's what I had.
Okay, but I don't think they charge that on individual packages. They might, but I don't think they do.
I think. Well,
I think they do.
Yeah, I can't speak for it though. It seems like
we sometimes can circumvent that. Let's just leave it at that.
Yeah, there are ways to do things. That's why half of Canada owns PO boxes in the U.S.
Yeah, there's just Chuck drives up to the border. And he throws.
All right, let's see. Juan Cholo, hey Juan, over at YouTube says, "Is this being funded on Kickstarter or only Backerkit?"
It will only be on Backerkit, yes.
Yeah, we only can do one platform's all we're allowed, and we wanted to give this one a try. Which so far, I will say this much: it has been pretty easy to set up. Things a little different, but good experience.
Well, the whole Backerkit team has been very responsive. When we have a question or a problem,
absolutely.
How do we do this? What do we do here? So that's been fantastic. And as I pointed out, and Chuck discovered this morning, we can edit sections. So Chuck can be in one section working, and I can be in another section, which is super crazy helpful.
Yes.
Grace, Chuck, and I were all in there tweaking stuff this morning, which was great.
Yeah, instead of typically having to wait, until somebody gets out, somebody gets in, and
let's do it, Willie. Let's do it. We'll just throw stuff across the border.
Oh. Touch of Evil says, I had a mishap with a duty once. A bunch of books very cheap, but they shipped individually, so very expensive. Oh yeah, I'm sure it was.
That'll eat you alive. Yeah, it's one of those things, and we, like the VAT taxes. There's little we can do about it. They charge, and this is standing out in my mind. 4 or 5 years ago, just post COVID or whatever. Someone ordered from Denmark. I can't remember his name. He's been ordering from us forever, but he paid for the books. I think they were like $60, and his shipping fee was like $55 to get it Denmark. And then he got there, and it was another $60 to do or some such to pay the VAT.
Right.
And there's really nothing that TLG can do to circumvent that. I mean, unless the country that you're in has some kind of like the United Kingdom, they don't charge VAT on books. They didn't as of like 2 weeks ago. Now stuff's changing.
Right.
Stuff's changing a lot these days. So, until the dust settles, and it's going to be summer before the dust settles, blah, blah.
The good news is we just got raided by Oak Skull. They're here to get our cheese. Damn it, you took our cheese a few weeks ago. What is with you? Gosh.
No more cheeseburgers for me.
Yeah. Bunch of cheese raiders running in here. How was your stream, man? I hope it was good. We're talking about the crowdfunding project we're doing on Backerkit right now for Castle Zagyg and answering questions and hanging out.
Yep, and we're currently discussing
Yeah,
shipping, and
and
Alan
shipping.
has thrown it. Alan for a row there is works for a GMS distribution, and he says worth mentioning is that for European shipping, GMS sorts out any duties up front, so the customer doesn't need to worry about it.
Oh,
And
nice.
That's fantastic. And that's really what we got a great relationship. I mean, super jazzed working with GMS. And Alan, I got to thank you. You guys are crazy responsive too, which is wonderful. It makes things easier on us, especially when I know we're not always as responsive as we should be.
Well, there's a time difference. You don't even notice with him, which is great.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. It's made so much stuff easier.
And we are 100% caught up with questions. We've got about 10 minutes
Good
left
deal.
before I do the giveaways and get us out of here.
Excellent. We are cruising towards 200,887 backers on this thing. We're at 196.
We are?
Yes. So
Oh,
we
you
are.
shit
we
me.
are-
You were right then. You were right.
We were hoping to close out 200,000 at
Wow.
the end of this stream. So maybe in the next 10 minutes, we'll see this guy roll over. I want to thank everybody before we continue on for who has backed this and who's even thinking about it and who has shared it. Thank you very much. This means a lot to me. It means a lot to everyone here at Troller Games and the Gygaxes too. It's bringing Gary's material back where
Absolutely.
it should have been many years ago. So we're going to do our damnedest to do it right.
Oh, yeah.
Question: do you have additional stretch goals ready to go? We do. We generally put our stretch goals out 4 at a time. So, and I guess that's right. We're on top of that. We're almost to our.
Yes. That was the other thing I wanted to talk to you about after the stream. That was it.
Yeah. So, have you updated the sword? Is the sword blue?
Yeah, I'm on top of it, but I'm out.
Are you?
We go up a little further, we're going to be in trouble.
Yep, there you go. So we will definitely get those latest round of stretch goals up. That is so funny. You know, you put these things out of your head. And one of the things about crowdfunding campaigns, they take a lot of. There's so many details that you have to go over, and I'm not a super detail guy. I'm really not, as Chuck, as everyone around here has learned. I'm not. The details really just I don't care. But they got to be covered,
Right.
Because they cause confusion and delay when they're not.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah,
And we don't want no one laughing like the fat controller. So.
Yeah, that's right. That still baffles me that in the United Kingdom, for Thomas the Train, for those of you who are familiar with it, Thomas the Train, we call him Sir Topham Hatt, the conductor guy. So he's not a conductor, but whatever it is, the owner of the trains. We call him Sir Topham Hatt, which I think is one of the coolest names in all of fiction. But in the UK, they call him the Fat Controller. So I just think that is absolutely hilarious.
A few more questions here. King Carthar asks, "Can you stay on until 200K?"
I will attempt to do that. I think we can do that. Can we pull that, Chuck? I know
Do
you're
it.
an hour.
I don't care. I don't know on
Sure.
camera. I can stay here. Yeah,
That's true. We will stay on until we're at 200K.
That's-
What is Jeremy yelling about?
I don't know.
Tell you all.
DM John asks.
There you go.
DM John asks about the various Yggsburgh books for each. God bless it. Twitching its stupid pen. What about the various Yggsburgh books for each section of the city?
So that's one of the things we talked about that a little bit on the stream this morning. Now I'm gonna hard pitch. Luke's not super jazzed about those because it's so much detail. But I'm kind of jazzed about them because it's so much detail. And I may
Right.
not use it, but
I'm not familiar with it, so I don't know. It sounds cool.
It's nuts. So to let people know what Gary had envisioned in the city of Yggsburgh, I want to say it's 21. It might be 24. But it's divided up into, I took my map out, it's divided up into 24 neighborhoods. And this is just the city. And what he wanted was each neighborhood to be given a full book treatment. We had published 3, I think, and we're working on another 5. The number 8 is stuck in my head. I don't know why. 8 is very important to Zagyg, so maybe that's why. But so we had published 3 of them. One was written by Talanian. I can't remember who wrote the other 2 that we published, but these took this neighborhood and expanded what in this book, which we will be calling Citadel. And this book is like, a page or 2 pages into a 48-page detailed discussion of everything that's in that neighborhood. So you can know who the baker is and who the smith is and where this street goes and everything's named. And we've got, and I know Peter Bradley, if you're still with us, Peter Bradley's got huge schematics of the whole city of the neighbors, and it's all jumbled houses and buildings. So that's what we're working on 2 facets to Castle Zagyg when the licenses were pulled. One was detailing Yggsburgh, and the second was writing the dungeons in the castle itself. So we got like 8 of 24 neighborhoods done with Yggsburgh, and then on the castle, we got the castle and up to Mouth of Madness, the castle, and level 1 done, and that's when the licenses were pulled. So the question becomes what to do with the 24 neighborhoods. How much more Castle Zagyg material do we want to put out? There's also like 3 other adventures that he outlined. He wanted out. One's the Book of the Dead. One's the Day of the Fawn. I can't remember that, but there's the Teeth of Bracknash Nor. There's adventures out there that were part of this. There's a whole lot of ancillary stuff that goes with Castle Zagyg. The village of Garham had some write-ups on it. Just all kinds of stuff. So, and once we get these 5 books out, then we're going to regroup, look, and see what we want to do. With the rest of the stuff. Of course, this will be in conjunction with Luke and his siblings, and all of that, the estates and everything, to make sure that we stay true to what they want to see their father's legacy as and what we're able and capable of doing. But always in my head, rolling around in the back of my head, is we take Yggsburgh and we turn it into an MMO. I think that would be just badass. If you could go online and walk those dusty streets, that would just be beyond cool. So
a little uptick in questions and then joiners too. Must be the afternoon crowd coming in or whatever. Let's see. Texas Beetle asks, will the starter set be available on GMS?
Yes, absolutely. So the starter set we should ship. It's a whole box issue now. Once we get the boxes, we can pack them and ship them, and the dice are in stuffs, whatever. But the boxes, I'm looking at April, hopefully not early May, but they said 4 to 6 weeks. We'll get Jeremy's working on the layout now. We'll get those boxes to them tomorrow or Friday or Thursday, and then 4 to 5 weeks after that. MMOs are dead. They're not dead. Nothing is dead. Nothing dies. Nothing in the gaming universe dies. People just keep playing it. Doom. Who out there is still playing Doom 2? This guy. All right. So Doom 2 is awesome.
All right.
GTA
Doom
5.
2. Okay, yeah. I was hearing Doom.
Yeah, I keep waiting for GTA 6, but it hasn't landed, so I'm still playing GTA.
Oh, it's coming. It's coming. Let's see. Next question from Willie the Rat. I copy paste these things. I don't read them. Is Chuck wearing pants? Willie, what qualifies as pants first before I can answer the question? You'll have to answer in chat before I can answer. And Ravenchild Art. I'm sorry. What's that? Yeah, we are closing in. Peter says he wants to finish those maps. And speaking of that, he's sending me over some maps.
Hold on. Jeremy, I dumped those templates on you Thursday afternoon because you kept asking me questions about the box for the starter set, and they're in your Skype conversation. Yes, you are working on that.
Quadrama, it's raffle. Where was I? Archmage asks, Archmage, yes, right. If you could answer that, have you any plans of making a German language version of any of your product? Were you approached by German publishers?
We have not been approached by German publishers. I think that would be fantastic. German is I absolutely love that language. I took a lot of German back in my youth when I was studying my PhD on Central European history, Austrian specifically. I studied in Klagenfurt, Austria for like two months or so, and then I just had a lot of good German back then. I haven't used it, so I've forgotten it all, except bits and pieces here. But I would love to see all of our stuff in German. We've just gotten it going forward on Portuguese down in Brazil, so we'll see a Portuguese version of CNC coming out. Yep. And there was someone working on it on a Spanish version that I'm not.
And there's the Hungarian one floating around.
The Hungarian, yes, I need to get on with Greg and talk about that. I would love to see this, but I would love to see it in German. So if you know anyone out there who has a German company who would like to translate this stuff, well, let me know.
I've got an image that Peter dropped and we'll drop up here. He said this is map sections for Yggsburgh. This is part of it as an example. This is basically about the northeast half. I'm going to throw that up in a second, okay? Answer this question while I grab that for me, if you would. Will this set, this is from Dan Froelich over on YouTube, will this set be compatible with the previously released Yggsburgh supplements and box sets?
Yeah, absolutely. Volume 1 and Volume 2 are going to be almost the same thing. I mean, we're going to do some editing and new art, new maps, stuff like that. Absolutely compatible, 100% compatible. The only little changes you're going to see, alignment won't be expressed in NPCs, like it won't say alignment is chaotic evil. It's going to say disposition chaos / good, or chaos / good evil. So that's really the only changes you will see.
Okay. Let's see.
That's right, man.
Tex Lafitte asks, "Do you have schematics being made for some of Zagyg's arcane machines?" Oh, cool.
So those, yes. So well, not yet, but when Mike pitches that to me, said, "Hey, we need this." Yeah, absolutely, and that is right up Peter Bradley's alley, without a doubt.
Well, that sounds pretty badass.
That's really, and when I say the hang up on moving forward on the stuff is going to be the art more so than the writing. For those of you who don't know, Michael Stewart's writing the third volume. Volume 1 and Volume 2 are done. Michael will write Volume 3, 4, and 5. Michael has published a couple of things for Mike. He's published, what is it? Verdant Rage, Shadows of the Halfling Hall, Victorious, a bunch of stuff for Victorious. And Mike's material, and he worked on Yggsburgh with Gary. Mike's material,
Sorry.
and what?
Victorious. I was going to mention that too as well.
Yeah, well, I said Victorious and
It is
the
that
supplement.
Sorry.
Yeah. But if you read, especially Shadows of the Halfling Hall, you can go, I think it's on our site. I'm like 90% certain it's on our site. If you go get Shadows of the Halfling Hall and read that thing, it has that feel of the old school. Chuck, can we give it away to everyone? Can we give the PDF away to everyone here in the
Which
stream?
one?
Shadows of the Halfling Hall. Can you make it
Yeah.
free?
Give me a few minutes to set that up, and we'll do that.
We're gonna give you Shadows of the Halfling Hall for free. Everybody watching, Chuck's gonna put up a link here in a minute, so you can go download that guy, and so you can see what Mike's writing is like. And Mike has that feel of old school, but with the kind of a modern, take on the role playing aspect and all the other stuff. Shadows of the Halfling Hall can be so difficult. It is the only adventure module that my crew of Mac Golden and Davis Chenault, who co-created Castles and Crusades, Chris and Todd, who I've been gaming with for decades, 2/3 of the way through that adventure, they just left. They said, this is too much. We're out. So they left, which was absolutely awesome. I thought it was the funniest thing in the world. But Mike's writing and his feel kind of has that castle, that tone, I think, that Gary was shooting for when he was working with Jeff Talanian. So Mike became the first choice for me to get someone to write this. Davis was the second choice on that. Yeah, so he's on deck. We'll get you a copy. We'll get you a copy of Shadows of the Halfling Hall and go kill your characters with. I think it's a 3rd level adventure, if I recall.
It's a lot of fun.
Might rank it up to about a 4th level. it's kind of tough. It's a little bit.
All right, I'm going to bring this up. This is what Peter sent over to me. He said this is basically the northeast half. You will have to explain because there's no labeling on here, Steve, and I really don't know what it means, but it looks pretty cool. So we'll throw that up in the chat right now. Let me get this turned on for us. There we go. Now I know it's going to be tough because this is a huge piece of material here.
Oh, good God. Peter, man, which neighborhood is that? So that's a good idea. That's what Peter and crew were working on. That is a section of Yggsburgh. Now, if I'm seeing that correctly, that's probably 8 different neighborhoods, though I may be wrong on that, Peter. That looks like the east wall, but I don't see the bridge on that. I can't see that very well, but I think what you're looking at there is several of the neighborhoods that are in Yggsburgh, and that's what we were in the process of detailing when the licenses were pulled, and we had 8 of the 24 partially done or published in some capacity. And that, and for me, that type of stuff is beyond awesome. I remember very, very well, for those of you who have been gaming since the 70s and 80s, you're going to remember this. There was this graph paper, easy to get, that had itty bitty rectangles on it, tiny little rectangles. Maybe squares, but I think they were rectangles. And Davis took 4 of those sheets back in the woebegone days. He took 4 of those sheets and taped them together on the backside, cutting off the white edges so that it all kind of blended together. And he drew this tremendous city. Every neighborhood, every street, every fountain, all of it was in there. And we did so much adventuring and dying in that city. I can't remember the name of it, which is odd. We did so much dying in that city that it's always been it's an echo in my mind that this is the way cities were done. So even when Gary was pitching this, to Troller Games and to me and to everybody, I was fired up. And Peter, this is right up Peter's alley because he loves He loves complicated stuff. And this is one of those things. That part is about 5 feet wide. Okay, yeah, so that gives you how many neighborhoods? That's about 8 to 10 sections. So that's about 8 to 10 neighborhoods that he was working on there. It's just crazy.
Insane.
The crazy amount of details. Just nuts.
That's nuts. It is nuts.
Moose knows what I'm talking about. Tiny, tiny little bitty. I love that stuff. Is it square? I absolutely loved. I didn't do back in the 70s. I didn't really start DMing until like 80 or 81. I can't really remember, somewhere around in there. And Davis ran the games from 75 up to that point. And he used those. He used the living crap out of that graph paper. It was just cool. Very cool stuff. I died all over that city. And I don't know what happened to it. I have most of Davis's stuff, but I cannot find that taped together map. I took Davis's stuff years and years ago. I just took all of his stuff, as much as I could find, and I put it in boxes and store it in wherever my stuff is, because Davis won't take care of any of it. But his brain doesn't work that way. But I don't know what happened to the map. I've got tons of his old D&D stuff. I just don't know what happened to that map. It may be stuck to it. Who knows?
So real quick, while I switch back over to questions, everybody that's watching on any of the platforms, I'm gonna drop a link into here for you guys. I'll probably do it twice, but let me get it in here.
Yes, Willie.
This link will be good until probably about 30 minutes after we close the stream down, because I'll have to cut it off, or we just have it free out there forever. So grab it now if you can.
Yeah, go download Mike's Shadows of the Halfling Hawk. It is a fantastic adventure. We actually have one called the Fantastic Adventure. Mike's is called Shadows, and it is just really cool.
Now,
and it is really deadly and dangerous.
You will have to, when you log in, you'll have to fill out a little form, because it's basically on the store. So you have to make an account. If you don't have one, you just make it when you check out, and you don't have to fill out. You just fill out whatever's required, whatever, and then it'll pop up with a link for you to download it. And here we go.
While you guys download that, I'll give you a little Davis story and why. And Willie mentioned the bonfire. So Davis is burning. He loves fire and he burns lots of stuff. But the reason actually that I started taking Davis's stuff from him, and it started with his Conan comics and his Savage Sword comics. And a lot of you have heard this story, so I apologize for that. But this was years and years ago, sometime in the 80s, I think. I don't know, late 80s. My grandfather had this old cast iron cash register. The thing was monstrously huge. He used it in his grocery store for many, many years back in the 1950s and 60s and whatever. And this had wandered its way to my mom. Somewhere in all of that, Davis started putting stuff in it. And I remember, like, in 88 or whatever year it was, I don't know, I was at my mom's house, and Davis was out. He was an archaeologist at the time, so he was out on some dig somewhere. And I just opened the cash register. I said, Mom, what's in this thing? She's like, I have no idea. Your brother's been messing with it. So I opened the cash register. I hit the little button, and the drawer opens, and there's the coin. There's the coin holders, right? The little cups for coins or whatever. And as I opened it, all of these cards started going, shooting out. 4 decks of cards, yellow, green, red, and blue. And they shot all over the place. I thought, what is this crap? So I picked one up, and it was the original decks of Star Wars cards from like 76 or something. When the movie came out, they did these cards, and Davis had wadded them up super, super tight and rubber banded them and put them in these drawers. And they had been in these drawers for so long, the rubber bands had disintegrated, so that when I opened the drawer, the tension was released and the cards shot everywhere. And I don't know the particular value of those things now, but in those days, they were pretty valuable. So I thought, good, sweet God. I gathered all the cards up. Yeah, Manfred knows what I'm talking about. I gathered all the cards up. They're somewhere through that doorway. And then I just started taking his stuff, because it's still his. If he wants it, like, he asked for his Conan comics back like a year ago. I gave him his Conan comics back. They're still his stuff.
Yeah. So everybody that's watching, I was foolish of me to say that. Yeah. The store's crashed. I will keep the link up for an hour after we have the stream, so make sure everybody gets there. Yeah, they can't get in, and that's normal. We had 200 and some people watching, so sure.
Okay, yeah. We'll leave it up for a while so you guys can get all of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, the cards not worth a lot. Now, I've flattened them quite a bit. I've gotten them over the years. They're kind of flat, but you can kind of still see. Luckily, he didn't like fold them. He just coiled them. And stuff made in the 70s is slightly better quality than it is today. So it sustained the damage slightly better. But yeah, It is what it is. The website is down. That is fantastic. That is really great news. I'm glad you guys are running because it really is. Michael Stewart. Mike is. I've known him for many years. He's a great writer. He's a great DM, and he's just a great game designer. And he's fixing to dive into these. He's already gotten level 2 done. He's into level 3. I sent me an email yesterday. I need to answer. But yeah, it's going to be fantastic. So we're almost there. We're at 199.
It just jumped $1,000 while I was watching it. Okay.
That is fantastic. We are fixing to break 200,000, which is great. I do want to thank everybody. Absolutely, thank you all for supporting Lord and the Gygax family, and most of all, Gary Gygax. And this isn't just, if you're getting in on this project, this isn't just something that you're some nostalgic thing that you're kind of recapture, whatever. This stuff is cool.
It's badass.
It's badass. I didn't run it. Matt Golden, the co-creator of Castle Zagyg, he ran, it was about 8 months. I'd have to ask him. He ran a game with me and Todd and Davis and Chris and Sarah and Laura. He ran us through Yggsburgh. Now, we never made it to the castle because my stupid character died. and we just kind of derailed after my character died. And it wasn't because of me. It was because Chris and I had such a tight role-playing relationship. When I died, and I brought in a new character, threw him off his game, and I couldn't get back on my game, and it just kind of spiraled out of it. The dangers of character death. Yeah, absolutely. So it is a fantastic a mountain of gaming material that will keep you occupied for a very long time. As Sparky knows, Sparky's playing through the Undying War, which is this 13 adventures stacked on top of each other. And I think Sparky's just made it to the 3rd adventure after a year or 2 of playing. This will be the same thing. The web for the troll as we generate it.
So here's a few more questions for you real quick while I get these other things set up here. Odd One Man says, "Hey Steve, I love that you have streams like this and we can ask and ask. So it is more for players. It is great. Thank you."
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's tons of stuff in here, just tons.
And so we like doing the streams, and we appreciate you guys coming and hanging out.
You mean about the stream itself?
Yeah. He's just.
Oh yeah, this is fantastic, and I tell you guys, and I cannot stress this enough. When you all ask questions, especially kind of esoteric questions that make me kind of have to go elsewhere or ask Chuck or Jeremy, whoever, it is extremely helpful here in the troll dens, because sometimes we will get, we're going this direction and we need to maybe go this direction a little bit, and it helps us course correct. I mean, it is so ridiculously helpful when you guys ask these questions. So this stream for me, this Tuesday stream, and the Thursday stream to some degree, but this Tuesday stream for me particularly is really helpful. So I'm glad that it's helpful for you guys too. And then I like to kind of do the behind the scenes, behind the curtain type things, because this is a crazy business.
Yes, it is.
Scala Grimmer says and wants to know about fulfillment. So it has been asked, but certainly ask it as many times. So the hope is, Scala, that we get this guide to print by 4th quarter this year. I'm not confident that's going to happen, just because I'm guessing that the art and cartography needs are going to be greater than they always are than we anticipate. So we're looking at going to print 1st quarter next year, and the hope is to have it either in the mail or minimally at the printers before we do the next Backerkit campaign for volumes 4 and 5. Yeah, that is the hope. Armel, the canopy green, there was a problem with the leather cover. I fixed it this afternoon, so I should be able to approve probably first thing in the morning and get that thing printing, which would be fantastic. So we're this close to getting it started printing. It's been at the printer for about 10 days now, I think, but there's been some issues, but they're fixed now, hopefully.
Another question for you. What is it?
Yes, Lummox. Yes. You're like me. I'm an eternal optimist.
So Mechatoin asks, broaching on the question about translating your games to foreign languages. I'm French and have translated many AD&D books to French. Would that ever be of interest to you?
Absolutely. It's of interest to me right now. I'm going to give you a different email than we normally do. Email troll@trollord.com and give me a shout. Just put French translation in the header and it'll get to me. That would be fantastic. That would absolutely be fantastic. I've been to France many times. I absolutely love the French language. I absolutely love France. And no one, to let everybody out there know, no one, I've been to Paris several times, no one in Paris has been rude to me. They've all been very, very pleasant.
All right. Let's see. In terms of a campaign setting, this is from Classified. Is Yggsburgh and the castle large enough to fuel an entire campaign by itself?
Yes. Yes, absolutely. I think there's I can't remember what it is. Peter, do you remember offhand? Maybe it's on the back of this book. It says over 1,000 adventures and adventure ideas. And there's so many adventures hooks just in Yggsburgh alone. It's absolutely crazy. So yes, you could go. And like I said, we played for 8 months and never made it to the castle. We played around Yggsburgh and the Ounce, and then we ended up in the East Mark for a great deal of time. And we are over 200,000. We have broken it. That is absolutely, absolutely fantastic. That is amazing. This has been an amazing day. Thank you all for everybody who has helped share this, who has backed it, who's joined us here on the stream this morning and this afternoon, and made comments on the Backerkit campaign as well. That is absolutely, absolutely amazing. That is very cool. We have broken it. Excellent. That'll make everybody happy.
Okay,
Sparky says, I remember Jim Ward ran my friends through Castle Greyhawk on Twitch during COVID. They spent almost 2 years exploring the dungeons and surrounding areas. It's crazy. It's huge. I mean, it's gigantic. The levels are gigantic. Everything is just huge about it, which is great. And then, of course, if you die, you gotta start over. So there's no respawn. I guess there's sort of a respawn with a raised dead spell. I guess that's respawn. Chuck, do we have any more questions? We are going to wind down here in a minute or so. All right, fire away.
Death Angel Shadow asked, are you going to do a crazy backer train overtime marathon live stream like Goodman did?
Well, I'm not sure what you're talking about, but sure, absolutely. I think that'd be cool. We are going to try to stream a whole lot over the next 25 days.
Yeah.
And we got Gary Con in the middle, but we're going to try to do that a little bit from Gary Con also. It's not going to be easy, but I have faith in Chuck's ability to make it happen.
I feel like I've shot myself in the foot, folks. Let me see here. I've got caught up on the queue on this side. I can't actually see the screen at the moment because I'm updating the Kickstarter right now while we're here.
Yep, and she's just roared past 200,000. Going good. We're almost guaranteed for the Mad Mage portrait. Yeah, I'm super jazzed about that. We've brought Wesley Gardner on board for that. For those of you who aren't familiar, here's my hermit. Wesley Gardner did the cover for the Hermit. He did all of the interior art for the Hermit, and this is some. He works primarily in oils, which is awesome. So that's we've brought him on deck for that. So it's gonna be super cool.
Okay, I have updated the stretch rewards. I think. Let me make sure I did everything correctly.
I love that Death Angel. We'll look into that for sure. Though I guess that's what I'm looking at now. It says the backer train. I joined 913 on the backer train back in 9 to 10 minutes. I got to go eat, so I can't. We can't do that right now, but maybe soon.
Yeah, I got delicious pork chops in the background. But listen, we're like you guys. If you guys are crazy enough to come hang out with us at night and in the mornings and stuff, we'll do it. We don't care.
Yeah, absolutely. We've had that conversation before about doing a 24-hour stream. I think that would be a lot of fun. We got to get Davis's equipment back working. He cut his cable, or the gnomes attacked him. I don't know what happened.
Interesting question from Phantom Rob. He said, let's see, is there a schedule for which trolls will be in Evergreen 3, our troll den up there, while games are going on? Not yet, but Steve will be coming through as much as he can to sign books and meet people, and I'll be up there running games and hanging out and doing stuff. Well, we're conveniently, well, not conveniently anymore, actually. We got our panels moved. Never mind. I forget that statement. I'll retract that. But we're upstairs from where the panels will be. So we'll be running back and forth. So that's a good question, but I don't really have a schedule for you at the time for it. I don't.
I will be making. I'm kind of a free agent, and Dakota and Grace have the booth tied down. So I'll be meandering around. If you see me in the hallway, shout it. Absolutely shout it.
Yeah, and come because that's what we do. We're here to meet people and hang out with people. We're not there, whatever, grandstand and all that. Let's see. Omega Gambit. What? Oh, I wanted to share a message I sent to Chuck. Dude, Just opened the fabulously packed Winter's Bite module, and wow, just a cursory flip through, and I see the printing and layout are superb. The art and maps are beautiful. Trollords are doing something right of late, and I'm glad to have back the Reforged Kickstarter and soon both Castle Zagyg Backerkits. Thanks again, sir. Well, thank you, Omega.
Thank you. That's very, very much appreciated. You guys have made this possible. The more we're able to take time and kind of dive into this stuff, which you guys have done through these crowdfunding campaigns and just support in general, we've had a fantastic last many years. So absolutely thank you for that.
Yeah, we are blessed, and it's all because of our community. And we're just, listen, guys, just so you know, I mean, we're all just regular people. I mean, I'm glad, I'm excited we're doing this because it means, I know Steve's laughing, but we're going to get paid. We're going to eat. You know, we're just regular people. So this is a dream. It's great. And we're all a part of it. All of us.
Commander Pete says, Steve, whose idea was it to freak me out with the other Chenault signing up for my game? So my older brother, Zane, who I'm not sure any of you have met, he used to go to cons a little bit back just before COVID. He didn't stop going because of COVID. That's when he was able to go. And his son Neil will be there, and they're both in Commander Pete's game. So that's going to be a blast. He's very he's a good player. He's fun to play with. It's really funny. Davis is the wild card. Zane is more analytical and oriented in calm responses and decision making. Davis is not so much, and I'm somewhere right in the middle. Somehow, as the third son, I looked at the two and I thought I gotta do some of that and some of that. So we make it great. And my sister's just crazy. She's crazy.
One last question, and that's it. I go do the giveaways. My wife's gonna murder me if we don't eat some pork chops. Odd One Man asked later on in one of the other streams, would you care to do a light presentation of the book later? I'm not sure what book he was commenting on. I think it was one you were talking about, but I don't know. Odd One Man, if you want to put it out there, you can. I was busy doing the Kickstarter thing. So I didn't see, but yeah. So let me switch hats, and we'll switch over here and do our giveaways.
1995. Are you making a reference to Always Sunny in Philadelphia, that episode where Charlie becomes the wild card? If you're not, you should go watch the TV show. It's absolutely hilarious. And when Charlie becomes the wild card, it's funny as crap.
That show, man. I wish you'd never sit me there. I'm telling you, we watch it. There are some nights we watch that and we don't even know what we watched. And other nights we laugh till like 2 a.m. It's crazy. Odd One Man said the last book you showed. You were showing a book, I guess.
The Hermit. So what was the question about the Hermit?
He wants to maybe to show it off one day when you were going through here.
Oh yeah. We can go. We can do
like a stream or something. We could talk about that. I could actually put the PDF up on there, and you could go through it with them over that and Winter's Bite or any of them.
Just recently released, and I'm. This is a fantastic book. It's written by Gary Gygax. The art, the layout, everything is top notch in it. But I'm actually, I don't say the most, but I'm as happy about the type of paper.
Yeah, Steve's not really caring about how they look. He just wants to know if it's a good quality book.
So here's a little weirdness that I've discovered about myself. I read a lot. I've discovered I really like turning a page. The physical action of turning a page is very comforting to me.
I like scrolling is what I like doing. Because I can't read books anymore. I'm cursed. All right, let's do these giveaways. I'm gonna close the giveaways out. So before I click this button, you better give us a follow over here at Trollord or twitch.tv/Trollord Games. Give us a follow at Sport Raffle. I should be able to memorize the name, I think, after all these years. And yeah, you can get in on the giveaway for some PDFs, $10 codes. All right. Thank you all. We really appreciate you guys hanging out with us. The support's amazing.
Absolutely. Thank you. And we are 4 minutes away from this. The backer train is still going. We are 4 minutes away from, if we get a backer in the next 4 minutes, it'll keep it going. I guess it resets to 10. Yeah.
Sometime I need to just sit here and experience all this cool stuff you guys do, looking at all this. That sounds really neat.
If we look, you just got to look at it. I just noticed it because,
I'm just teasing.
It's mentioned the screen there. It's very.
Where's it at? So I can see it. Oh, right there. I see it.
That's cool. That's very cool.
That is very cool. Yeah, that's cool. I like it.
All right, let's do these giveaways because we're all starving.
I know, we are all starving. Real quick. Close entries out. All right. Yes. I'm going to give away 3 $10 off PDF coupon codes. You guys will just, I'll draw them. A link will pop up in the Discord or in the chat. If you're new to us, just click the link to go over to Discord and Obsidian Risk will get you your codes to you. And if he's not, you can DM him, you can PM him. The information's in the thing that pops up here, or someone will get you hooked up with him. So no big deal. Thank you for the follow, Argami. Appreciate that. Very much appreciate it. Appreciate the question earlier. All right, let's do these. Closing entries. Wait, I thought I already closed entries.
Did you? Did you? I think you did. You said you were going to.
Well, I'm clicking and nothing's happening. Let me refresh the page. I love technology.
That's
It's
very forward,
fantastic. I love it. It's great. Okay. Yep. I had to refresh, I guess. Put my pants on. I never confirmed if I'm wearing pants or not either, Mr. Willie the Rat. You never answered the question. All right. First winner. It's going to be Kern 3. Trollza. Kern, just hit that link and pop in the Discord and ask for your coupon code from Obsidian Risk. You can DM him, whatever you'd like to do. We'll get it to you for sure. Congrats on that. Next winner, DM Chris, 1972, who collects lots of coupon codes around here. All right, congrats, Chris. Chris wins good. He's good. He likes to hang out. In fact, we're working on. He's going to email me. We're talking about doing a con thing. So yeah. And last but not least, Alan Rowe, 1979.
Right, excellent.
Alan, you do not need. I'm gonna pick somebody else. I've got a code for you, Alan, already. I'll give it to you. All right.
Yeah,
Next winner will be. We'll treat him like Frank. Oh, there we go. A Mazadragi. Excellent. Welcome to the new person in the community. That's fantastic. Congrats. Congrats, everybody. That's right. That's fantastic.
Congratulations, everybody.
Congratulations. All right, let me get over here and I'll get us out of here. Any final thoughts, Stephen? Let me get over the campaign.
I just want to thank everybody for showing up this afternoon and this morning, and for those that could, and for backing the Backerkit campaign. It's been fantastic. First day. Hopefully we can keep this going. I'm sure we can. That'll be fantastic, and we will get updates out for all the other material that's floating around, so everybody can be brought up. So lots of information flooding out.
Okay. I'm going to raid. Let's see. We'll set us up a raid and get us out of here because, that's what we like to do is raid people.
Take it easy, Holger.
And steal their cheese. So let's see here. I'm going to raid us into Winter's Tale. She's live. A friend of ours. You met her at Gary Conflict last year, Steve. Remember?
I did.
And we're going to raid into them, and you guys can hang out and see what they're up to. What's that, Chris? Oh, 201,709. Wow. I'm thrilled. I'm telling you what, this has been a great day, all because of you guys, honestly. Fantastic. Thank you so much. We really appreciate, guys. Let's get a big fat raid up for her. We'll get over and see them. They're talking about something. I'm not sure what it is. Something RPG related. So we'll go over and raid into them like the trolls that we are. We need to. I'm gonna come up with a troll raid emoji that's got a troll out of the club. That's what I want.
That's a great
raid.
Idea.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be fantastic. All right, everybody, that's all we got. We'll be back again probably tomorrow, some point. I'm hoping. We're
gonna stream tomorrow for sure.
Yeah, because we're gonna be going to GaryCon next week, so we need to stream as much as we can, honestly. So, thanks so much, everybody. You guys have a good evening. Enjoy your pork chops like I am, and we'll see you later. Thanks a lot.
Take it easy, everybody. Thanks again.
And don't forget, Trollza. Ow! Y'all be cool.